It's the summer holidays. You want to feel confident, shirtless on the beach. You want to fit into that tailored suit at your friend's wedding. You want to feel attractive and good in yourself. Whatever the reason is, you've made an important step in the right direction. The fact that you want to lose weight, it means deep down that you believe that it's possible. Many people have given up. Maybe they've tried a few things and it hasn't worked, or they blame their genetics. But everyone can lose weight, and it should be encouraged. At the end of the day, it's not just to feel confident, it's also healthy. As a medical student, I've learned that you are at an increased risk of so many diseases and conditions. The most important thing in losing weight is your diet. It's a lot easier just to skip out on that donut than to run 3K on a treadmill. Many people start going overboard on the exercise. They start running, doing CrossFit, all of this stuff, but if you don't look after your diet, then it's all just a waste of time. I'm going to be talking about 2 dieting tricks that have made it 10 times easier for me to lose weight. So the first thing is intermittent fasting. So if you don't know, intermittent fasting is basically when you eat within a set window of time. And so the classic window is midday till 8 p.m. and that's the one that I do. And I think it's the best one. It's been really big in the news and on social media over the last couple years. Not eating in the morning can be such a superpower. You might think I'm crazy. You might have heard that, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. When I start eating from 12, I'm so much mentally sharper and I'm so much more alert and switched on. When I used to eat breakfast, I used to feel so tired in the mornings. I used to get to 10 a.m. and I start yawning. I would just feel so tired and think, what happened to those 7 to 8 hours of sleep that I got last night? Like, why is that not kicking in right now? And I think the main reason was because I was having a heavy breakfast. When you have a heavy breakfast, you become very slow and lethargic and just heavy. A big reason that this is the case is because back in the day, I heard the story about how John Kellogg, the inventor of Kellogg's cereal, the cereal that we all know and love, was actually part of a marketing campaign. I think some other guys, they wanted to promote bacon sales as well as sugary cereals, but basically a big marketing campaign by them with the slogan of breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And so in reality, you don't need to have breakfast. You don't. It's not the most important meal of the day, it's just a meal. Eating from 12 to 8 just means that naturally you're going to eat less. When you have a smaller window to eat in, you're less likely to reach for the snacks and go to the McDonald's drive-thru. You have a lot less opportunities available to you to slip. If you haven't given it a go, at least try and at least give it a go. One piece of advice is to stick with it at the beginning. If you're used to having especially heavy breakfasts and you suddenly cut out breakfast, then it's gonna feel very weird. You might actually start feeling more tired at the beginning. You might start feeling like you have no energy, but your body just needs to get used to it because at the end of the day, fasting is a very healthy thing to do. It's used by Muslims in Ramadan. It's used by many Christians during Lent. They go through periods of fasting. And as a Christian myself, I do believe there's a reason that they fasted. I've got many Muslim friends who fast during Ramadan and they lose an insane amount of weight. And they all tell me that you need to get used to it. The first few days, you need to get adjusted to it. Your body will adapt. It's going to be fine. They do a much more extreme version of fasting and they feel fine. It takes a bit of rewiring mentally to think that if you don't eat, you're actually going to be more alert. Even if it doesn't make sense, I would just urge you to give it a go and see how it is. All right, let's move on to the second dieting hack. A modified carnivore diet. In a traditional carnivore diet, you basically cut out all carbs and you just have a diet that consists of high protein and high fats. Clue is in the name. But with the modified carnivore diet, it's applying the 80-20 rule to the carnivore diet. So 80% of the time, I'm eating in a strict carnivore diet, and then 20% of my diet is more relaxed. I like to include some sources of carbohydrates because it's a lot easier to stick with a diet where there's a bit of carbs because everyone loves carbs. I don't believe that you need to cut out all carbs. At the end of the day, the most important thing with a diet is consistency. So anything that can increase your consistency whilst still having the intended effects over the long run so that it's sustainable is much more important. You're not gonna lose weight rapidly in 1 week unless you starve yourself, and that's unhealthy. You're gonna be losing muscle. You're not gonna be having the right nutrients that you need, the right vitamins. Your brain's not gonna work well. You're not gonna be able to focus or concentrate at work. You try and do things too quick. You don't have patience to trust the process. There's this misconception that fats are unhealthy, but actually fats are necessary. We need fats. The main enemy is sugar here and carbohydrates, especially processed and refined sugars and oily foods. I'm mainly eating meats, so lean meats, for example, chicken breast, steaks, other great sources of protein, eggs, cheese, yogurt, protein shakes, peanut butter, and then also include vegetables in there too. Try and cut out the carbs. As someone from a Chinese household, I'm so used to eating bowls and bowls of rice per meal. When I was at home growing up, I used to have so much rice. I had no idea how much rice I was having. Way more than I was supposed to. If you have that much rice, pasta, potatoes, it's gonna be so difficult to lose weight. You don't have to cut out anything completely, but you can just have less. A smaller portion of rice, a smaller portion of pasta. You'll immediately lose weight if you just simply cut down on the amount of carbs you're currently having. The carbs that I limit myself to are fruits. For example, I have blueberries with my yogurt, I have bananas with my protein shake. I love apples, I love oranges, I love peaches. In general, fruits are much better than sugars found in processed. The other big benefit of the carnivore diet is that you're gonna have more energy. When I'm studying medicine and practicing and doing practice questions, my focus is so much better when I'm on the carnivore diet. When you have a carb-heavy diet, you're constantly crashing. Have you ever had that feeling where you just crash suddenly? You have that afternoon slump, you feel suddenly really tired, you have massive brain fog, you can't really focus properly. When you have a lot of carbohydrates, you get a massive sugar rush and you get an insulin spike. When you have a lot of these insulin spikes, you also have a lot of crashes. That's why you might find that after a carb-heavy meal, you've had a lot of pasta, after maybe half an hour or an hour after the meal, you'll suddenly start to feel really sluggish and really tired. And that's just because the insulin spikes and the crashes are happening too frequently. Just general productivity increases once I started this carnivore diet. That's it, guys. I live my life by the principle of KISS, keeping it stupidly simple. A lot of the times when you research something new, it can become very overwhelming. If you research how to lose weight into YouTube, you're gonna see a million different ways and a million different people giving you completely different advice. So when it comes to implementing a new habit, focus on one or two things at a time and don't overwhelm yourself. If you want to learn more about studying, productivity, fitness, then sign up for the waitlist for my free school community down below in the description, where I'll be revealing everything I've learned in the last 4 to 5 years of medical school about fitness, productivity, studying tips, and much more. Join with a community of like-minded people who just want to level up every single day. Thanks for watching, and as always, God bless, and let's win together.